+84, +62, +1. Have you been getting international calls from these at odd hours both in the day and night? Well, for starters, you're not alone. But it's also important to know what you can do not to get scammed. On the story that caught my eye this week, we're going to talk about these pesky calls and how you can stay safe. It's a story that everyone has been talking about, and Abhas is going to help us break it down and also give us tips on how you can stay safe. Now, this has been happening. People are getting calls from unknown numbers.
Right.
The frequency seems to have gone up exponentially.
Right.
So people obviously want to know, is this a scam? And what are the kind of ways in which they could get hoodwinked?
Okay, it's certainly a scam because there are two types of calls which people are getting. One is a normal voice call, and the second is a video call. If you end up answering, and please don't, but if you end up answering international call, which is a voice call, perhaps they are going to offer you a job. And this is something which has come out in reports where people who have answered, and what followed next was this only. They said that, do you want an easy job which is work from home? Now that sounds tempting enough, and that's a very common modus operandi for scammers to get people offer something very lucrative. So it'll be like, the job is very simple. You have to like videos or share something on Instagram and you get an X amount of money. If you're lured and you said do this, perhaps you end up giving your bank account number, and that's where the trouble actually starts. So thumb rule should be do not answer that call.
Now, if you have not answered the call, if you have answered it, there will certainly be some steps to take. But if you haven't answered the call, what are the next steps that ideally you should do so that you can stay safe?
Okay, so WhatsApp is the biggest instant messaging platform, and it's very simple. The more number the users, the more chances of getting people scammed. So WhatsApp generally doesn't comment, but this time it has actually said what things people can do to stay safe from these international calls. Things what you have to do are very simple. Just block. Don't answer and block. Once you block those calls, just below it, you'll see, we'll show it in the video, you can report the calls. Then the calls will stop. But as I said, these are not just one numbers or two numbers. The calls will keep coming, but from that particular number, it won't come. It's the same case of better safe than sorry. It can get tiring to block numbers again and again, but that's the only way to stay safe, and that's what WhatsApp has said.
Now, what happens in the case somebody answers a video call, and this is where things could get really difficult for people, because at the other end is not just a scammer, there's actually a extortion attempt that's going to be made on some people.
True, that is true. Well, generally what happens if you get an international video call, you might get a text message on WhatsApp also, which might seem harmless. Hello dear, hi, how are you types. If you end up replying, you might get a video call. And what happens on that video call, and this is again based on the reports from which we've heard from users, is that perhaps there will be something on the other end which is objectionable in nature, and they capture your reaction, and it comes across as if you were watching something objectionable, and then it becomes a blackmail and a extortion kind of scam.
Okay, and when that happens, it essentially means that you will then be worried that you're going to get in trouble, because at the end of the line is somebody who's out to sextort you.
Right, that's true, absolutely.
So in this case, is there a remedy really, because you have already answered the call?
There isn't actually. As I said, you'll have to pray that things don't go south in this case. But as I said, and what we've been saying, do not answer these calls. Just if you have an international contact, and a lot of people do, you will have their number saved. Chances are, even if somebody has got a new number or anything, perhaps they'll intimate you about that and not just call you, say, at random hours. And these calls do come like that, like 2:45 in the night, 1 o'clock in the night, or so. It is just, you really can't, after getting a call, as I said, then you have to rely on luck and pray that you aren't getting scammed.
So to avoid being scammed, 2 words: block and report. And that's the easiest way to stay safe. In this video, we're also going to show you how you can block and report on your phones. And these are important steps. They are very simple, but they're important steps to make sure that you stay safe.